construction type is billboard clouds. Billboard clouds is almost a combination of these two methods, and it's basically this method is intelligently select a minimal set of planes which wrap the whole geometry of the tree. So here, if you see in the left-hand side image, these whites are the planes, and we try to put here. We have an individual leaves. So for example, in this branch you have a couple of thousand leaves, but here you only have one plane, so one polygon, and then you use this method to construct the leaves on that. And now we are going to see a couple of existing libraries which are already available on the internet. The 3D wall, the Google warehouse, TurboCircuit, Israel is the 3D symbols, Lane 3D, Speed 3 as a programming package, and you can get more detail in our paper. And then Victorian Resource Online. Now we see why the Victorian Resource Online is making its own place within this commercial dollars. Victorian Resource Online is a natural resource information repository since 1998 and is having nearly 10,000 pages on it. Geographical visualization is a part of this, and you'll find multiple interesting stuff like reports and video clips, some of the interactive stuff, and of course 3D object library. Now we go to the acquisition and the construction of this is an ongoing process. First we select southwestern region of Victoria, and it's a model area, a pilot project. And first we create a map with the ecological vegetation classes, which really represent the landscape around that area. And then collect the photographs with the GPS-enabled camera to identify and store the locations, capture the image. Then we validate those images with the biologist and the ecologist within the department, create a metadata out of that, and then construction of the 3D object within the commercial software like 3D Studio Max. And then we put the models up on the website. Now, if you see the detail in the 3D object library, as you see here, we have 4 distinct categories: vegetation, animal, build structure, and rural landscape. And the whole thing is divided into the 4 columns, where you have their biological and the common name, thumbnail, and you can download the link, model from the link, and the creation. Right now, we are having 120 VRL objects, and we are trying to update the object to the SketchUp enable as well. And the future and the conclusion for this presentation is almost like we are trying to set up a library which is a way of storing and managing 3D objects, and it's always helpful to create a front end of any of the scientific models or the spatial data. And basically, when we found out or search on the web, you will not find as many objects to create specific Australian landscape. So this is our approach from our side to create a setup for the 3D object library, and it's a very powerful front end tool for the biophysical, social, economic models, spatial data sets, and very complex scientific applications. And some of the future research we are already into it. And we are with the University of Melbourne and CRC, a spatial science, Professor Ian Bishop. We are trying to develop a taxonomically determined searchable database, and trying to support a number of file formats like OBJ and SketchUp or KMZ, so one can easily have our model into any of the digital globe or the commercial environment. And also try to create an iconic tile landscape. So, for example, if you have a green color in your map, it will automatically determine a winery 3D model, and then it can create this type of tile representation. And we are also developing and improving our terrestrial and aquatic models, because we are also getting one project around the sea underwater visualization. And finally, we are also trying to apply these models to represent climate change scenarios, and this is a part of the Victorian Climate Change Adaptation Program. And as you see the link here, you can get all the details for the climate change scenarios. Thank you. And if you have any questions for that. We've got 3 minutes for questions, so any questions for Colette?
Yeah, have you done much work with, you were mentioning these objects on different scales. Have you done much work with level of detail, so being able to have multiple representations of the same object within a model?
Yes, we are also on the way of that, because right now we are having only one object per species.
Yeah.
But in the future, the next stage is to create multiple stages for each species. So if you want to use it in very detailed manner, you can have it, or if you want to have it in the landscape scale, then it's very light model. So you can have the essence of the model, but it's not that heavy, so you can have multiple of that type of model in the scene. Is it answering your question?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, nice.
Any more questions? Okay.